Hi team, greetings everyone. In our previous session, we saw the concept called as pre and post condition, right? In today's session, we are going to see a new concept called as depends on script. What is this depends on script? So let me take a scenario and explain the scenario, and then we will understand the concept called as depends on script and why we need it, right? So here, let me take this particular module, cart module. Under this cart module, I have three scripts, right? One is for adding the product to the cart, one is for updating the product in the cart, and one is for deleting the product in the cart, right? Now, if I execute this as a module level execution, what is going to happen? Three different scripts will be executing. And my first script will add the product to the cart, my second script will update the product to the cart, and my third script will delete the product from the cart, right? So these three scripts will be working properly. Now I will not execute them as a module level execution. I will go for script level execution. I will execute my first script, I will execute my second script, and then my third script. This also, the execution will go in a smoother fashion, right? Now I will directly run my second script without running my first script. So what is going to happen? It is going to verify whether I am able to update the product in the cart. First thing, do I have a product in the cart in order to update it when I run only my second script? Because previously I was running all the three scripts. What happens? Product will be added, updated, and deleted. Now is there a product in my cart? No. Now what I am doing, I am just trying to run the second script only, which will try to update the product in the cart, right? But there is no product in the cart, right? So even though my steps are correct in the second script, it is going to fail because the product is not present in the cart. So don't you think whenever we are going to trigger the execution of second script alone, it should automatically trigger the execution of first script? Why? Because there is a dependency between these two scripts, right? My second script is dependent on my first script. If I run only my second script, it is not going to pass. Whenever I trigger the execution of my second script, it should automatically trigger the execution of my first script, right? Because first script will add the product. Once the first script is executed, now there is a product in the cart. So here my second script will execute and it will get passed, right? So here there is a dependency between these two scripts, right? So now I am going to give the dependency. Now where I have to give the dependency? Which script is dependent on which script? My second script is dependent on first script, right? So I need to go to my second script. I'll just go to my second script. So this is my second script, right? So here we have automation steps, variables, settings, web services. We were using the settings for pre and post condition, right? Let me just click on this settings now, which is displaying me pre and post condition, but I want depends on script, right? So here, once you click on settings, you can have this drop down here. Just click on this drop down. Once you click on drop down, what are the options you are getting? Pre and post condition, depends on script, data providers. And what is the option we want? Depends on script. Let me just click on this. So once I click on it, if you can see, plus depends on script button is available. I'll just click on this. So once I click on it, if you can see, add depends on script, root module. Under root module, I have cart module. So if I expand this, I have a single script inside that. TC001, verify the user is able to add the product to a cart. Now this is my dependent script, right? I will select this. I'll click on add. Now the depends on script is added to my second script. If I go to automation steps, if you can see, before my step, depends on script is present. So how the execution flow will happen? Once I trigger the execution of this particular script, it will trigger the execution of my first script and then it will trigger the execution of my remaining second script. What if I have precondition? Whether my precondition will execute first or depends on script will execute first. Let us check how to add precondition. Just go to settings. You have precondition. Just click on this plus precondition. I'll just say navigate to home page. This one I will take. I'll just add this. So once I add this, if I go to automation steps, here by seeing the order only, we can understand the execution flow. So now what is going to trigger first when I run this particular script number 2? My depends on script will be executing, and then the precondition of my second script will be executing, and my steps will be executing, and then the post condition will be executing. This will be the execution flow. So can we give the if fail checkpoint for depends on script? Yes, we can do that as well. So how to do it? Just click on the depends on script, and here you will be having an option for if fail checkpoint. So using this if fail checkpoint, we can assign the continuation of the particular script execution, right? So now I'll just cancel this. So I have given the dependency for my second script as my first script, right? So whenever we are going to trigger the execution of this particular script, my first script will be getting executed, then my actual second script, precondition, steps and post condition will be getting executed. Now let me go to test development and let me go to the third script. So this third script, verify the user is able to delete the product from the cart. So if I want to delete the product, first thing is I want the product to be inside the cart. Can I say my third script is also dependent on my first script, right? So here I want to give the dependency for my third script. So what I have to do, just go inside the third script, go for settings, go for this drop down, depends on script, and click on this plus depends on script. So now if you can see under the cart module, I have two suggestions. When I gone to the second script, it was giving me one suggestion. When I go to third script, it is giving me two suggestions, right? So here, can we add only one depends on script? It is not like that. You can add multiple depends on script, but it depends on the position of your script. So when I go to third script, it is giving me two suggestions. Now if I go to fourth script, how many suggestions I will be getting? 3 suggestions. If I go to nth script, how many suggestions I will be getting? N minus 1, correct? If we go to 8th script, 7 suggestions, 9th script, 8 suggestions. So here, depending upon the position of your script, you can give the dependency. Now, what I will do, I'll just cancel this. I'm not giving dependency for my third script. Let me go to depends on script. What about my first script? Can I give dependency for my first script? I'll just click on my first script. Let me go to settings and let me go to depends on script. And here, let me just click on this plus depends on script. And here, if you can see, no, there are no scripts which can be added as a depends on script, because this is the first script inside the module. So under which module we are currently present? We are currently present inside the cart module, and this is the first script. So dependency cannot be given for the first script of the module, right? And you might ask a question like, can we give depends on script for cross module? Say for example, this shopper module is there. If you can see, verify if the user is able to log in into the shopper application, shopper stack application, right? This is the logging in scenario, right? Can I give this script as my depends on script to this particular script? Is it possible? Cross module dependency is not possible. Intentionally in FireFlink, we avoid this particular feature. Okay, let me take this scenario. Now, in this particular script, by mistake, I have given a wrong email ID or password, right? So when I run this particular script, what is going to happen? It is going to fail this particular script. Let us assume I have given the cross module dependency. Let us assume that we can give the cross module dependency, and I have this particular script as a dependency for all the other scripts. Now, the mistake which I have done in one script is going to impact the entire cart module. Even though the steps are correct in my cart module, what is going to happen? It is going to fail because of this particular mistake which I have done in this particular script, right? So here, one script can affect the entire module. So only we are not giving cross module dependency. You can give the dependency only inside the modules, right? And for the first script, you cannot give the dependency since there is no previous script, since it is the first script. And if you are going to give the dependency for the nth number of script, you will be getting n minus 1 number of suggestions. So if I am going for this third script, how many number of suggestions I can, means how many number of dependent script I can give? 2 different dependent scripts you can give. You can just go to settings, drop down, depends on script, plus depends on script, and here I can select both the scripts as my depends on script. I'll just click on add. So 2 scripts are added now, if you can see. And if you want to delete one, you can delete. If you want to delete both, you can delete, right? Now if I go to automation steps, now how the execution flow will happen? First script will execute, then my second script will execute, and then my third script will be executing, right? Now I have given the dependency for my second script as well as my third script, right? So here, when I trigger my first script alone, it is going to do the execution properly. when I trigger the execution of my second script, now what is going to happen? So I have already ran the first script, right? If I trigger the execution of my second script, is it going to execute my first script once again? No. It is going to trigger the execution of my second script alone, because this depends on script works in the fashion in such a way it is going to read the status of this particular script, right? So here when you run the first script and when you run the second script, only your second script will run because it is already having the status of my first script. Now if you directly run the second script without running the first script, then what happens? My first script also will run, my second script also will run. Okay, now if I go to third script, I am not running my first script, I am not running my second script, I am directly running my third script. What is going to happen? It is going to execute your third script along with the first script and second script, right? Now I executed first script, I executed second script, and then I am executing the third script. This time it is going to execute only the third script because already it has the status of the first two scripts. Now if I run this as a module level execution, now what is going to happen? Each and every script will be executing only one time. As I told you, depends on script will take the status of that particular previous script, right? So this particular script will be executing, it will give past status. What is going to happen? My second script will execute, my second script also will get passed, my third script will execute. So here when you are going to run this as a module, it should not execute first script once, and again when it is triggering the second script, what it should not do? It should not trigger the execution of my first script. If it is executing the first script again, what is going to happen? Two products will be added because first script is running for two different times, right? So this is not happening in FireFlink. In FireFlink, it is designed in such a way that whenever you are going to run the particular script which is having a dependency, it should be launching both the dependent script as well as the current script, right? So when I trigger the execution of this particular script alone, it is going to trigger the execution of depends on script. When I trigger the execution of these two, then my first script will execute once and my second script will also execute once only. Fine. Now as I told, cross module dependency is not possible. Then I want to add this particular script before executing this particular script. Then what is the solution I have? You can make this particular script as a step group and add it as a precondition in this particular script. That's it. That is the solution for adding an entire script into another script without depends on script. If you want to add this script to this particular script, make this particular script as a precondition and add that precondition to this particular script. Fine. So depends on script can be given for the scripts which is present inside a module, and for the first script we cannot give that depends on script, and cross module dependency is also not possible. I hope this depends on script is clear. So in today's session we have seen this depends on script concept. We will see the next topic in the next session. Thank you.